No Sith ever accomplished what Darth Sidious, better known as Emperor Palpatine, managed in the waning days of Star Wars Republic. While the Sith Order existed for thousands of years, its early history is dominated by a series of bloody conflicts with the Jedi and infighting which led to its near extinction. The surviving Sith would spend the next 1,000 years working in the shadows, a status quo that would only be broken by Sheev Palpatine, seeking what he believed to be his destiny. Following their defeat on the planet Ruusan by the Jedi, only a lone Sith Lord survived: Darth Bane. Darth Bane would lay the groundwork for Palpatine's eventual rise to power by instituting the rule of two: there can only be two Sith at one time. A master to embody power and an apprentice to hunger for it, and setting in motion what he called the Grand Plan. The Grand Plan's aim was not to conquer the galaxy by brute force as the Sith had tried in the past, but to infiltrate and corrupt the Republic from within, so that they could, at last, destroy the Jedi Order and rule the galaxy. Palpatine believed himself to be the culmination of this millennia-long conspiracy, and he defied long-standing Sith tradition in multiple ways to fulfill his vision. Palpatine's willingness to play an integral role in galactic affairs is in itself a major deviation from how previous Sith had operated. Sith had operated purely in the shadows, focusing on their individual pursuits often on the fringes of the galaxy. His own master, the tragic Darth Plagueis the Wise, was a bioengineer who researched the means to achieve immortality, though he failed. Not only was Darth Sidious willing to thrust himself into the spotlight of the galactic theater, but he was willing to use others to do so. In Darth Vader 2015, number 20 by Kieran Gillen and Salvador Larroca, Palpatine boasts about exactly why he is the Sith to enact the Grand Plan, rather than simply to continue it, stating that he learned from his predecessors' mistakes by primarily utilizing agents who were in Sith. Palpatine didn't rely on other Sith. Perhaps the most obvious example is the Empire itself. The Imperial Army is composed of countless stormtroopers and other military personnel, such as the esteemed Grand Moff Tarkin, dedicated to carrying out Sidious' will, not to mention the countless governors, bureaucrats, and non-military personnel tasked with maintaining order in the Empire. Though far rarer than the ubiquitous Imperial Stormtrooper, the Inquisitors are a far more dramatic and heretical arm of Palpatine's might. The Inquisitors are composed of former Jedi turned to the dark side, either through torture or corruption, tasked with hunting down Jedi that survived Order 66 and any other efforts to revive the Order. While all extensively trained in the dark side of the Force, Palpatine treads a thin line in denying them the opportunity to ever be true Sith. However, Palpatine courted even more direct Sith heresy as a tool in creating the Silo Directive, highly trained warriors that could serve as replacements to Darth Vader, even though none of them were Force-sensitive. Rather, their modifications mimicked the Force, showing how Palpatine, while using his various apprentices to serve his ends, simply wanted the strongest possible agent to enact his will, whatever Sith tradition had to say about who should fill that role. Indeed, Palpatine was constantly looking to replace Vader, showing he felt no compulsion to maintain his relationship with a fellow Sith. Palpatine observed the history of the Sith, learning from the betrayals offered by apprentices and masters through the ages, and so he built his power on those outside the dark side cult. Millennia of tradition and dogma meant little to Emperor Palpatine if they stood in the way of his destiny. However, what's impossible to deny is that Palpatine's methods, unorthodox as they may be, led to the near-complete success of the Sith's Grand Plan, shaping the history of Star Wars universe as thoroughly as any more reverent Sith before him.